my name is Richard, and today is Republic Day. There's a march in London, a demonstration in an attempt to overthrow the monarchy, to get rid of it. I'm all for that. And this video will in part explain, in large part explain why. It's about echoes of empire, or even the evil empire in some cases. And it's all kind of cultural enclave, just dark hole stuff. So yeah, you take the monarchy. It's has its own culture, which is apparently racist in large measure, or used to be. Some people are worse than others, but you know, we hear things here and there, snippets, and they get away with murder, almost literally, I think. Yeah, they're just forgiving all kinds of minor disciplines, so-called minor ones like speeding offences. I don't mind overwarning. Yeah, it's all the usual bias and deference to the wealthy. But the culture is quite odd, I'm sure. And I know the culture of the aristocracy is odd. I've met some. Got a fair idea of what goes on there. And because their culture is so isolated, they get sort of strange ideas cooking. And many, I think, still live in the days of empire. Because yeah, we used to have one decades ago, but the institutions are still there. Schools like Eton and Harrow and so forth still perpetuate this, or they still have this idea of making leaders. So their schools are for, to make leaders, to turn children into bosses. It's a form of indoctrination, really. It occurs in many cultures. You can see it in Russia right now. I just seen a video about children being dressed in uniform, age 3, and chanting, mantras or songs or whatever, marching around age 6. It's horrific. But the same kind of thing happens here, less obviously so. We get families in the deep south, they indoctrinate their children in particular ways, particular beliefs. And it's very hard to escape from that. Yeah, as a child you grow up and you encounter the world around you and go, what's this? And so you tend to stick to your own kind in the corridors of power. And the city of London is much the same as the enclave, which has got its own culture. Short-term thinking largely. There's a few like Gary Stevenson actually do things, they actually do analyse things, they actually do wonder. They don't just follow the trend, the crowd, the herd. There's far too much herd following going on for my liking. Far too much. Yeah, so these empire echoes are ways of ruling other countries. Hitler admired Britain for its control of India, for example. There's 1,000 or so, excuse me, administrators, and millions of Indian people who are just kind of doing what they're told. It's all to my fear and my deception, because these people who are in charge are trained to be confident, as is, to give the idea they know they're doing and therefore should be in charge, because nobody else does clearly. Yet often that's all they know. They might know ancient Greek or history or something. And if you're lucky in those days, you had some knowledge of military matters. But often the bosses in the charge, the lords and whatever, in charge of the army didn't have a clue what they're doing. But of course they're lords and whatever, they got to be in charge. Utter mayhem. Yeah. And it's all due to the kind of arrogance and not wishing to be challenged by anyone, therefore they don't permit questions. You do what you're told, that's it. The whole thing is just sick, it really is. The whole kind of mindset. It's divide and conquer mindset, for one thing. I'm sure that's been applied to this country. We're definitely divided, no doubt about that. And that happened quite quickly, especially the Brexit. So I think the whole thing's about some people in charge are controlling everything. They're deliberately trying to keep the masses subdued and fighting each other. Because that's the best way to control an empire. Divide and Conquer's got a long, long history as a strategy. It really works. Also mushroom management, keeping in the dark and feeding bullshit. That also works. The schooling in this country is quite absurd in some ways. The things that are left out. Until recently there wasn't much science, and I don't think it still is in the private schools. They're not required to do it because they're out of the state system. The whole thing is just long overdue for an overhaul. Long overdue. These people are making a right mess of things. And in some cases they seem to enjoy doing so. So yeah. I would like a republic, please.